deserve the same level of kindness, care, and compassion that you give out to other people. Like self-deprecating comedy is one of the most trending things nowadays. Negative self-talk is usually this little voice in your head. So welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if somebody is watching for the first time, hi, I'm Mehak, and today I'm going to talk about why being a good person to yourself is so important. So let's dive into the concepts, how this inner monologue affects your brain and how we can shift it into a more compassionate one. So most of us try to be a kinder person to others, but how often do we find ourselves giving ourselves the same kind of kindness that we give to other people? Suppose if our inner monologue was broadcasted in front of the whole world, what do you think you will be feeling? Will you be feeling inspired? Will you be feeling scared? Or will you be feeling anxious after hearing that monologue out loud? So in today's video, we're going to talk about how our brain makes us become an unkinder version to ourselves because of the constant affirmations and constant words that we use to ourselves, which we can refer to as the negative self-talk or the negative monologue that keeps on going in our brains. And I have found some solutions for this and how we can change a few things about how we speak to ourselves. So let me give you an example. If your friend is going through something and he or she tells you that they are feeling some kind of shame, they are feeling some kind of embarrassment for doing something, or they have been feeling constantly anxious about certain situation, how do you think you're going to react? Are you going to say, you are so dumb, you always suck at this, or you are never good at anything? Like the way our brain functions when we are in a negative situation, if we are being unkind to ourselves. Do you think that we are going to react the same way to our friend, the way we talk to ourselves when we are anxious? I don't think so. Because the concept of changing words in your self-talk or the inner monologue can make you become a better friend to yourselves, which can further make you a better friend to other people. So shifting this mindset that giving your friends and other people the grace that you give them during their hard times to yourself is not only going to change your perception of yourself, but other people's perception of yourself. Your mindset, your brain, it can literally be rewired anytime. So at first, let's talk about this negative self-talk. This negative self-talk comes from the concept of shame. Shame is not about self-criticism. Shame is usually the underlying cause of all of our bad emotions like fear, anger, frustration, embarrassment, jealousy. These all come up from this shame that we have within ourselves. Shame is very different from guilt. Guilt is something that we get when we do something wrong or when we have done that thing and we feel that feeling about that situation. But shame is almost always self-destructive and deliberating, and it can actually destroy your self-image in your own brain. This inner monologue or the negative self-talk is usually this little voice in your head that makes you think that you can do better, you can do more, you can do better, you can do more. And at some point it becomes exhausting and it can be very self-deprecating, thinking constantly that you could have done better or thinking that maybe I was not enough in that situation. How many times have you caught yourself thinking that maybe I am not enough for this particular thing, or maybe I am not enough to pursue this career path, maybe I'm not enough for this particular person or this relationship? It's because of that inner voice that has formulating since we were younger. It's not something that came because we had suddenly got these responsibilities, we suddenly got this much pressure to do things right. It did not come from that. It has been generating from years of our lives, from our younger trauma, from any bad situation that has been triggering you in your mind and making you feel like, see, I was right, you are not enough. It keeps on validating that feeling, and for us to say that to ourselves makes it 100% sure for our brain that maybe you are not enough. And shifting that I am not enough to maybe I am struggling, maybe I can do better, is the path of changing your negative self-talk into a compassionate one. Have you observed about that yourselves when you are in a tough situation and your self-criticism side of brain activates and suddenly you want to make impulsive decisions, so you just get out of that situation? It's because of that. Because constant self-criticism and constant shame in your mind can make your prefrontal cortex's capacity to sustain attention less, and it can inhibit impulsive behaviors. It's equivalent of having sleep deprivation. So what do we do when we are feeling this self-criticism? Then we try to hide it, we try to avoid the trigger and beat ourselves for beating the shame. And this cycle continues. This is an ongoing cycle. It never stops until you make a conscious decision of not repeating this again. So think of your brain as an electric circuit. So if you're having a self-deprecating thought and you're consistently repeating that behavior, you're consistently repeating that negative self-thought, it becomes a default mechanism. This turns out to be our inner monologue. And we also call it like the automatic self-talk, because it is automatic. If your brain is wired into thinking that this stressful situation happens, something you cannot make a decision about, or you failed at something, then the only habit out of it is negative self-talk, the inner monologue. But the good part about it is that our brain has plasticity, which means that these neural pathways and these neurons can be rewired and reconstructed. So we can actually rewire our brain with the help of our words, our affirmations, our thoughts. Let's start by differentiating between self-kindness and self-judgment. Self-judgment is if I failed a test and I say it to myself, I am so dumb, I cannot do this ever. And self-kindness is that it's okay, maybe I did not study well, maybe there's some concepts that I don't understand, and maybe I need to put more time and I'm gonna learn from it and maybe do well next time. This is the self-kindness that helps us make the compassionate self-talk better and reduce the negative self-talk. The next concept that we need to differentiate from is common humanity versus isolation. Isolation is something, suppose I failed at a test again and I say that maybe the problem is in me. But at the same time, common humanity is I am a human, I make mistakes, and maybe there are more people like me, and there are always more people like me or like you who are struggling through the same things. Open Reddit and write any situation, you will find more than 10 people with your same situation and how they dealt with it and how it got worse and how they managed to get out of it. So if Reddit can have more than 10 people, then in this whole world, there would be way more than 10 people who are going through the same things that you are. So giving yourself the benefit of doubt that I am not alone, it's not necessarily me who has this problem and everybody else is perfect around me. Nobody is perfect around us. And giving ourselves that common humanity is so important for us to change the negative self-deprecating self-talk into a compassionate one. Because if we are not even going to give ourselves the benefit of doubt that I am a human, I made a mistake, I realized it did hurt me, I was sad, I was angry, but that's okay. Everybody goes through that. It gives you some kind of company. So try giving yourself some kind of humanity. I know it's hard. I know that it's not always possible to going through a tough situation and thinking that maybe everybody is going through this, I'm not alone. I get it, but that is what I'm saying. Rewire your brain into making this a default option. The concept that we need to separate is mindfulness versus over-identification. Over-identification can be exaggerating your problem or suppressing your problem. But sometimes being mindful of your problem, that means Say out your problem as it is. Don't exaggerate it, don't suppress it, don't joke about it, and don't make it into a story that it is not, because everybody has been a victim of it. I used to do that a lot. I used to exaggerate my problems in a comic way, thinking that this is my coping mechanism. It's not. Honestly, it's not. It's not even funny for me. If I'm joking about my trauma, if I'm joking about something that I went through and I was feeling a certain way, if you say that out loud, this person did this XYZ thing to me, that's why I felt this kind of sadness, because I had feelings, or I had this particular feelings towards, or this particular expectations towards this person, as it is. Exaggerating in front of your friends is something else. Exaggerating in your own mind is actually being delusional to another level. Because if you are a person who wants to suppress your problems or exaggerate it in a way that it will over identify or under identify your problem, how is that helping you? How, like, it's just being in your own dream world and trying to think that maybe this problem will go through if I make it seem like something it's not. Instead of that, simplify the problem. I am sad, I am hurt, I am angry because this person did this thing to me and this is how I felt because of it. Simply laying the problem out loud is, honestly, if you say your problem out loud the way it is, I think your brain is intelligent or smart enough to understand that this is the particular problem. Now we are being true to ourselves, and now maybe we can actually think of a solution for this problem. So let's talk about how we can change this by default option of ours. First of all, our vocabulary to ourselves, our grammar to ourselves matters the most. That is how your brain is gonna think that she knows her problem, maybe she can solve it. Using the words always, never, or no one, everyone, no one likes me, everyone hates me, I always get this, I never achieve this. These words needs to be removed from your vocabulary. They are the biggest trigger. These are the biggest obstacle that you can face while changing your negative self-talk to a compassionate one. And if you believe in manifestation, if you say that out loud, the universe hears it, and that is exactly that's gonna happen to you. And this is not something magic or voodoo shit. It's something that manifestation is actually saying those things to yourself or to the universe, we say, but the universe for ourselves is our brain. So if we say those things out loud and our brain listens to them, then our brain is gonna act to it. Our brain doesn't think that she doesn't mean it, let's give her benefit of doubt. If you don't even say that to yourself, then give ourselves that kind of assurance that this is gonna pass, you are okay, you just need to put in efforts on this particular thing, this is how you felt. We don't say that to ourselves. We are not even designed, or like, this is not something that we are taught from the starting. I was not taught about this, none of my friends are taught about it. But now that you are understanding that this negative self-talk is so bad for your own life, your decisions, your prefrontal cortex, which makes all of your decisions, your behaviors, then why not make some small efforts, conscious efforts? These efforts are not gonna come while sitting and when you're saying I'm always so dumb, and by default your brain will think, no, you don't have to say always. No, but you have to be very conscious about it. So how do we start being a good person to ourselves? How do we change this self-deprecating self-talk to a compassionate one? Let's start with the first tool, which can be framing your thoughts. Which means if you do find yourself thinking that I am so dumb, why do I always fail? If you find yourself talking to yourself in such a way, pinpoint it. Catch yourself while you're saying those things. Be conscious enough and catch yourself. If not the first time, not the second time, maybe the third time, you will catch yourself. Once you catch it, take a pause and just reframe the sentence. You don't have to think a lot about it. You don't have to do the compassionate self-talk there and then, but just reframe the sentence. I am so dumb. I failed this test. I always fail. Instead of that, why did I fail? Just take 30 seconds and think, why did I fail? Maybe I did not understand this concept better. What can I do? I can study more. I can ask my teacher. I can make sure the next test or any other assignments that I have from now, I will make a conscious effort. I am gonna try my best. I can learn from this. I can get the results back and see where I was wrong. Just change or reframe how you think. I am so dumb, I always fail, to I failed because I did not pay attention, or maybe I could have studied more. So I just need to learn these concepts and ask people or ask for help about it so I can do better from next time. Doesn't this seem so much easier and so much nicer to yourself? Like, negatively self-talking is not something that we always want for us to be hearing from ourselves, right? Just think about the fact, I think the best hack in this is just start reacting the same way you will react if your kids, if your parents, if your siblings, if your friends, if anybody who you love, who are very close to you, says the exact same thing about themselves. How are you gonna say? Are you not gonna be pissed off? Why the fuck are you talking about yourself like that? Obviously, if you love them, then you are gonna have that reaction. Just have that same reaction for yourself as well. The second step that we can take for changing this self-talk can be being present with the pain. Sometimes suppressing the pain or giving yourself an explanation why that happened to you, how does that affect your growth journey, does not help. Because if you are sad, then you are sad. And just instead of avoiding your pain, just go through it. Feel the pain, accept the pain, and go through it. Sometimes there is no way out of the pain. The only way you are gonna go to the next step is going through it. Just feel it. If you're feeling sad, instead of negatively saying something about yourself, I am ugly, that's why this person did this to me. I am fat, that's why this person did this to me. Don't say that. Just say, I feel sad because this person said these things that hurt my feelings. Say that. And if you're feeling sad, feel sad. Sit at your home, maybe eat whatever you like, have a rest day, calm yourself. If it takes 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, an hour, 2 hours, just feel that. Go through it. Accept it that you are feeling sad. Just say that out loud. I feel sad today. I feel angry today. I feel angry right now. You don't have to fix it right now. You can also say that I feel angry right now and I cannot fix it. So all I can do is just take a deep breath and let it be. Sit with it. Sit with your feelings, sit with your emotions, and don't let your brain consistently go to why this thing happened to me. Why do I have to give myself an explanation of this emotion? Sometimes you just have to feel it, accept it, and move on. That's it. There are no shortcuts in these kinds of feelings. And honestly, these feelings are very personal to every person. I can give you a personal example of this. I used to be a very impatient person. I used to fight with my parents a lot. I used to get triggered very easily. But since I didn't even know these kind of concepts back then, but since a very long time, all I started to do is, if I am feeling angry or I am triggered by something another person did, all I would do is take a deep breath. First of all, deep breaths help you so much. Deep breaths are a lifesaver. The pit that you feel in your stomach, take 5 deep breaths. If that doesn't go away, take 5 more. I am telling you, even if you don't feel 100% better, you're gonna feel somewhat better. And that does make a difference in how you feel. So take a deep breath. I used to take a deep breath and just go through it. I'm feeling angry. I'll be pissed off and I'll still continue with my life. If it's getting out of control, I just sit in my room. I'll close the door. I'll take deep breaths. I'll scroll through my phone. I'll feel angry. I will just not let myself act on that feeling right there and then. I'll just give my time, go through it, and you know what? After some time, that just passes on. That never stays. These kind of negative emotions are not meant to stay with you forever. They will pass away. But if you let yourself feel that, accept that, and go through it. Sometimes there's no solution. Sometimes having a solution is not going to change the fact that you feel sad. Even if you feel angry and you are sad, first of all, it arises from shame for yourself. Because if you're having consistently these kind of thoughts, he left me because I was fat, that's a kind of shame that you have built in from years of going through things in your childhood, maybe in your teenage years. It's just a result of that. And then you have a predisposition of thoughts from your younger self, and that is the only solution that you have to self-deprecate yourself. And now that if you're listening to this video, I'm just gonna say, let yourself feel that emotion and accept it. That's it. If half of the power of those emotions to overpower you is gonna go away if you just say, yes, I am feeling sad. What can I do? Am I gonna comic about it? Am I gonna cry about it? Am I gonna talk to somebody about it? I can, but negatively self-talking is not the way through it. It's just gonna make you more anxious. It's gonna make you rely on these kinds of habits, and then ultimately anytime these kind of situations happen, you're just gonna feel the same. So the third way will be create a habit loop for self-care. Let me give you a habit loop example. Cue, routine, and reward. Your cue can be that you're feeling overwhelmed, that you're feeling stressed. Then your routine can be taking a walk, taking deep breaths, doing yoga, talking to somebody, or writing it down, doing a journal. And then your reward can be that you feel less stressed and you have a happier day ahead, and the feelings that you had are not completely gone, but they have reduced. Because if I used to do this in summers, not anymore because it's so cold outside, but if I used to feel anxious, I used to feel like I'm in the house all the time, or I'm having that kind of anxiousness by sitting in my room or something, I'll just go out for a walk. I'll not even let myself think for 5 fucking minutes, and I'll just go outside and go for a walk. And then my reward, for me, I used to keep like rewards having a coffee or listening to my favorite music, and that ultimately just results into the actual reward that we want is feeling better. So creating a habit loop, it can save you from so many bad emotions, so many negative things that you want to say to yourself at that point. Just take a pause. If you take 30 seconds of pause, trust me, that is going to change how you react. That is going to change how you talk to yourself. And be mindful and conscious of how you talk to yourself. The next way you can change your self-deprecating self-talk to a compassionate one, identity-based habits. And this is a concept I read in Atomic Habits, the book, and it said something like, instead of saying that I want to be nicer to myself, say I am someone who treats myself nicer. And did you see how I switched like very few words, but it's gonna rewire your brain? How? Because when you say that I want to be nicer to myself, that means you are still not a nicer person to yourself. Your brain still thinks that is a future version of you. If you say nicer things to yourself, then you're going to be a nicer person to yourself. But the other sentence says, I am someone who treats myself with respect. I am someone who has higher standards. I am someone who likes to take care of myself by going to the gym. I am someone who likes my body in a certain way. I am and I want have a huge difference of how your brain sees it. I am means that you already identify like it and you're going to behave like it. If you are identifying yourself as a person who is nicer to themselves, then you are going to behave like that. Changing this self-talk into saying that I am this person. I don't want to be that person. I already am. And this is not fake it till you make it, by the way. This is something, if you are making an effort and if you are even listening to this, if you are actually thinking that I want to do this, I want to change myself. If you said that, that means you are identifying as a person who is trying to be a kinder person to themselves. So start identifying that to yourself. I am a person who likes to take care of myself. I am a person who likes to read books. I am a person who wants to be kinder to myself. These things will trick your brain into thinking that you are already that person. So why not behave like them? So I know this is very minor, but this does make a huge difference in the long run, because this will become a habit, and this will become your by default way of looking at yourself or talking to yourself, and this will change how you feel about yourself and how you talk to yourself. So these were the ways that you can try to shift your negative inner monologue to a more compassionate one. So in the end, I'm just gonna say that you deserve the same level of kindness, care, and compassion that you give out to other people. And honestly, you deserve it more than them, because it is you that you're talking to yourself. If you are not a better friend to yourself, you cannot be a better friend to other people. You cannot have a good relationship with other people if you do not have a positive relationship with yourself. You cannot ask for love, respect, kindness, care from other people if you're not giving that to yourself already, because that is selfish. If you cannot fulfill something within yourself, then you cannot go ahead and ask other people to give that to you, just like that. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope this helps. And if you think this video can help somebody else as well, just share this video to someone if you think they need it. And I hope you have a great day, and just be kinder to yourself.